Hello again everyone, thanks for clicking on the video, and I'm back today, as I threatened I might be in the last video, again talking about mounting action cameras and how I want to do it. Now if you watched the last video, you'll remember that I decided to take off the handlebar mount that I had for this, my little SJ cam, which is here. Because I didn't really like the way it looked on the handlebars, and I just also the windscreen was slightly obstructing the view, and it wasn't quite what I was looking for. I do tend to tinker about a lot. You'll be used to this if you know me by now. If it's not exactly what I want, I'll look for something else. So the next thing I tried, which you will see in the last video, was this. Now this is a neck mount, and obviously what you do with this is you pop it around your neck, click it on, and there you go, you've got your camera hanging down. Now that's fine, and it works okay with the helmet, it doesn't interfere with anything. There's issues with this though. The first issue is a safety thing, which I did bring up on the last video, and you know, do you really want something around your neck when you're travelling along on a motorbike? The answer is probably not. Now, you know, I'm not going very fast, I'm not some sort of super bike or something, it's a Zoomer. It'll do 38 on a very good day, and that's about it. But it's still, if you come off, you know, it's fast. It's fast enough. This can also, it doesn't feel terribly comfortable around your neck, I have to say, once you've got your jacket on and that. It's a little bit irritating. And also, you know, if you're going around corners, it can slightly swing out the way. So you do have a tendency to sort of glance down a bit and make sure it's front facing. And that again is not really something I want. I want to just put the camera on somewhere, forget about it, and concentrate on the ride and keeping safe. And this camera, the SJ cam I use, it's a safety camera. It's for keeping an eye on the traffic in front of me, you know, recording any mad things that happen and anyone decides to try and knock me off or anything like that. It's not one for doing really my trips or my video blogs or anything like that. I've got the Drift Ghost XL for that, which fits on the side of the helmet and is another great camera. So, not happy with the neck thing entirely. It's time to tinker around again. And as I mentioned in the last video, one of the ideas I had was attaching Velcro to my jacket, and then, obviously without all this on, so this will come off, little bits of Velcro here and here, and then you could just basically slap the camera onto your jacket, ride off, forget about it, and when you come to your destination, off with the camera, and away you go. Now that to me is ideal. Now, the question is, obviously I don't have Velcro handily fitted on the jacket. So what I've sent off for is Velcro. Now this is not the usual sort of Velcro that has the sticky back on. This is plain fabric Velcro on the back. The reason being that I'm going to attach this onto the fabric of the jacket. So the stuff that comes here with the pre-sticky tape on, I don't think would last very long. I think it would peel off. So what I'm going to try and do is attach some thin strips of this partially down the front of the jacket, and we have some extra strong fabric glue, and I want to glue it on and see if it's going to hold. Now when I mean hold, I don't mean just hold the camera on, because the camera weighs nothing. Even if I used sticky backed Velcro, it would hold the camera on. The question is, if I'm taking this on and off all the time, are the Velcro strips on the jacket going to stay put? And that's what I need to know. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and glue some Velcro strips on the front of my jacket. This could go horribly wrong and make a right mess, but you know, in for a penny, in for a pound. So I'll show you what I'm going to do. Okay, so I'm just going to take this off the mount here. Unscrew this, at least I thought I had. There we go. Right. That off. So the idea is, as you can see, I've put some masking tape here. Now using the neck mount, the camera comes to about here, around about here actually, I think it's the top here. So that's the right sort of position I want it to be in. So when I'm sitting on the bike, you're getting a little bit of the handlebar effect with the dials, and you're also getting a good forward view. You don't want it too high or you end up just staring at the sky, and you don't want it too low or you're going to be, you know, staring at the battery box. So it's got to be about right. Now obviously with the Velcro strip there'll be a little bit of leeway, so I can work out which is giving the best view. The jacket fits well, so it's not as if it's going to sag at the front or anything like that. It shouldn't do that too much. I've also got a summer riding jacket, which I actually was remembering was white. It is mostly white, but it has black here, so that's fine. I can use the same Velcro if I want to put it onto that, if this works. So that's roughly where I want it to be. I want it to be about here, sitting there. So I'm looking at Velcro down here. Now you see we've got a pocket here, so we're going to have to quite a thin strip here, and then it can be a maybe slightly thicker strip here. And then I can come out in the morning, Velcro, a bit of Velcro on the back here, slap the camera on the chest, and away you go, which is what I'm looking for. Okay, so I'm going to cut some Velcro, and then I'm going to get this fabric glue out and see if that's going to do any job. I'll need to attach it with the glue, weigh everything down, and obviously leave it a while to let it set because you want it firmly on. This is supposed to be decent fabric glue. I don't know, it was pretty inexpensive, so it should bond. We'll see how we get on. The other option is a glue gun, which I do actually have, but I'm going to try this first and see how we get on. Okay, so next step is we need to cut the Velcro and get it in the right place. Okay, so obviously you get, there's two sides to Velcro. You get the nice soft one that has the, I presume this is the loops, is it? And then this is tougher, and this is the hooks. It could be that, it could be the other way around. I think this is the hook. So what I'm going to do, this is nice and soft, so I'm going to put this, the hook side onto the jacket, because I think it'll just be a bit more flexible than this, and we can put a bit of that. That's going to fit nicely in the back of the camera. So I'm actually looking at this, and I'm wondering if I could get away with just having a strip down one side, because that way the camera's going to go almost central, and most of it's going to be held on there, and that should probably do it. So I think what I'll try first is just a strip down this side of the jacket, rather than doing both sides, and see how that goes. Because obviously the less gluing and that on the jacket, you don't want the jacket gluing Velcro on it particularly. So I'm going to put a decent sized patch on here, and I'm going to leave that clear just now, and see if that's enough to hold the camera in place. I think it might be, because there's no real weight in these things. I mean, it's not heavy. I've lost the camera again. There it is. I mean, it's not heavy. It doesn't weigh anything, so it's not going to fall off or anything. Okay, so we're going to cut a section. Now you want a section, or I want a section just enough that's going to give me a little bit of leeway so I can have it up a bit. If it sags a little, I can put it down a bit, that sort of thing. So we're going to go slightly past that so I can go higher, and obviously a little bit lower. But equally, I don't want a huge strip of Velcro all down the jacket. So we're going to, let's say if we take sort of to there. I think I bought a metre of this Velcro. I'm not going to use a metre, that's for sure. So we cut that. Make sure it's nice and neatly cut. There we go. And I'm going to put that on roughly there. So it's slightly above my line and below my line. So it allows me to fiddle around. And also the benefit of having obviously on one side is I'm not getting anywhere close to this pocket on the other side. I don't really use this pocket, but it might be handy for something. Okay, so that's that. I'm now going to get the fabric glue this on, and then I'll weigh it down with books or something like that, and we'll see what it's like when it's done. Okay, so we've got the fabric glue. This was £2.50 on eBay, by the way. The Velcro, I think, was about, I don't know, £5 for a metre, something like that. So you put it, look, it's quite runny actually, that's surprising. So careful with it, because it is runny. I'm going to cover this. Not too much, because we don't want it spilling out all over the sides, which of course it's bound to do, but what the hell, eh? Right, dump that round. Okay, and we also want some on the jacket itself. Where we're going to glue it. Let's see. I should really measure this out with some chalk, I shouldn't have done it instead of doing it by hand like this, but well. Now apparently this dries set in 30 minutes, so we shouldn't have to wait too long to see if this works at all. And if it doesn't work, I've then got to work out how to get fabric glue out my jacket. And I wouldn't imagine that'll be easy. Anyway, try that. As I say, just above and just below, and that's actually going on all right. Right, so there we go, that's on. There's none squirting out the sides particularly, apart from that bit there, of course. Right, so what I'm going to do now is put something heavy on it. I've got this, which is nothing actually under here. No, all right. So that goes on there to weigh it down. And then a couple of books on top of that. Okay, so we'll come back in 30 minutes. I'll want to give it an hour just for the sake of it, and we'll see how we've got on. Okay, so that's about an hour later. The glue says it dries fully in half an hour, but you know, I always let it lie a little bit longer. So that's about an hour after I glued it. And what I've done is I've put some of the loop. Is that the loop? The loop on the back of the action cam. So this should just attach to the jacket now. So let's see how the glue's worked and see if this idea of mine is actually going to be any use. Okay, so I had this weighted down with a jar and a couple of books. It looks like it's glued pretty well, I have to say. There is a little bit of glue that's come out the side, but I could probably scrape that off, but the perfect answer is not really going to notice, so what the hell. So the camera goes back in there. You can take it off and that stays firmly attached. So that should be what I'm looking for. So I'm going to try the jacket on now and see how it looks on. Okay, so I'm sitting on the kitchen table here, which isn't the same seat height as the zoomer, so it's not exactly the same, but anyway, jacket on. So all you do now, switch your action cam on, attach it to the jacket, bearing in mind we're bumping along on a zoomer, but that's fairly stable. Take it off when you arrive at your destination. That'll do me. What I'll do is I'll give it a try when I'm returning to work next week for the first run to work, and we'll see how it actually works. And I'll put a clip of video up on probably one of my Zoomer shorts just to let you see how that's going. But on the whole, quite happy with that. Let's see if it works though. Thanks as always for watching, guys. Like and subscribe if you can. All the best. Cheers now.